Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.
Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, an author, and the host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today radio show in combination with the YouTube video version on YouTube channel Take Your Life Back Today show. Reasons why people change. We all change. One of the scariest words in the dictionary for most people is the word change itself. But here's the thing with change. Change is absolutely inevitable. There's nothing you and I can do about it. It is coming. You're changing. I'm changing. But there are certain people that end up choosing to change, so what causes us to change is a mystery question. So today, in this episode, I'm going to give you science behind changing for you to look at and say, well, maybe I want to change my life as well. How do I go about doing this? How do I go about changing? So let's get right into it right now. First of all, 4 things cause people to change. You and I are 2 people out of millions that want it. Number 1 is intentional reasons. You choose to change. It is intentional. I choose to lose weight. I choose to get married. I choose to stop my single habits. I choose to stop smoking. I choose to stop drinking. I choose to do certain things. I'm choosing to change. Number 2 is natural evolution. The 40-year-old version of you possibly is going to be a lot different than the 30-year-old version of you. Then the 20-year-old version of you is going to be different than the 10-year-old version. And then the 80-year-old version of you is going to be different than the 70. Number 2 is natural reasons. That's evolution. You're going to evolve. Things are going to happen. Life's going to happen, and you are naturally going to change. None of us are going to be the same as we were today, than we were maybe 10 years ago. It's either going to be positive or negative today, but there's going to be some sort of change in your life. Number 3 is life-changing events. Life-changing event, sometimes it's accidental. What is accidental? For instance, if you go to a party and you're standing on the side and you were listening to music, and all of a sudden you look to your right. You see this girl standing next to you. You could not believe her eyes, and then she looked at you and she gave you that smile that you'll probably never forget, and you smiled back, and then you asked for her name. Then she gave you her name. You tell her that if there's, or you ask her, is she with somebody? And she says, no, of course not. So you start talking. You ask, do you want to leave? You leave. You go to a restaurant. You talk until midnight. You drop her off. 18 months later, you both get married. You know, now you're married for 22 years already, and you have 3 kids together. That is a life-changing event, and it was accidentally, because if you weren't at that party, you would have never met her. It wasn't something that was planned, right? Life-changing events could be, on the intentional side. I decided to go to this conference. This conference completely changed my life because I wanted to change my life, is what that guy said at that bar, at that conference. Here's another life-changing event. If you just had a baby, it was intentional. Maybe, and you and your wife chose to have that baby. You and your husband or your wife chose to have that baby. So you have the baby. Now you're a mother or a father. You never cried like that before. Once you hold the baby and you realize that that is your blood. Or if you had a baby, but it was accidentally, you know, hey, I wasn't expecting to get pregnant and have a baby, but you still can't believe that you're holding this baby. And 19 and 18 years old, but it changed your life. Accidentally, intentionally. Intentional life-changing event. Could be kids, could be marriage, could be spiritual, but it could be a lot of different things. Then force, and by the way, life-changing event could also be, it could be a death in the family. It could be a loss of a loved one. Death in the family changes the whole dynamics of destruction in your family and the people in it. When your parents, spouse, kids, siblings, somebody, a friend, could change their lives. We just had one 2 years ago in my family when my mother was killed. It changed everybody's life. Number 4 is force. What's force? You're raising a family and then mom and dad get into an accident. There's no more mom and dad. You are forced to change, right? You're living in a country, all of a sudden there's a war. You're under attack. You don't have a choice. You are forced to change. You were living in a family. Mark your tanks. Your dad was doing mortgages. You guys go from living in a $1 million home, you lose every single thing. Now you're living in a 1-bedroom apartment complex. Mom and dad go through a divorce. You're 14 years old, let's say. You are forced to change. You are forced to make changes. So change is coming to you, to me, to everyone in that family or anything that's forced upon us. It's going to happen. We can choose. Some of it's going to be forced. Some of it's going to be life-changing. Why do some people end up changing is the question of life. Could be because you're bored. You may be bored with your life. You're bored with your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You're bored with friends around you. You're bored with your job, bored with whatever you're doing. So if you're bored with your life, you're going to want to change. That could be a reason that somebody wants to make changes in their life. You can be inspired to make changes in life. I read this book, I'm inspired. I watched this movie, I'm inspired. I read this story, I am inspired. I heard this guy speak, I am inspired. I had this one conversation with a person I'm inspired by. I had a dream the other day, now I'm inspired. Let me tell, I'm going to go do something special with my life. I saw what happened with my mom last week. I am inspired. People get inspired. You'll get inspired. I mean, that's just plain truth. You could make changes because you're frustrated. You're absolutely frustrated with something that happened in your life. You're frustrated with your financial situation, your relationship, your career, your job, your health, your body, your weight. It could be so many different things. But frustration causes you to change. You've heard of pain and pleasure before, but I'm giving you to you in a complete different way right now. I'm talking boredom, inspiration, frustration. So now, having said that, the part about change that most people have, because it causes change, is happening in your life no matter what. It's either positive or negative, frustrated or inspired. There's nothing you can do about that part. You are going to change. I'm going to change. Everybody changes. Think about it. In high school, I want you to think about a person who was very happy to be around with you or to you. 15 years later, you see them. The person is the most negative person to be around. That's change. They changed, but that was negative. Go back to high school and think about the person that was nobody, negative. There just wasn't anybody that anyone talked to or about. 15 years later, now that person is the most positive person you've ever seen. That's positive change. The key with change, you've got to realize it's two ways people see it. One is on the inside job. Two is on the outside job. Outside is red. You don't control outside. So people who say, oh, I wish my life, if I had different mom, different dad with money, life would have been different. That's somebody that's just going to look for reasons for the change. If I would have married somebody else, people would say, man, if I had different circumstances, if I'm with a different person, if I lived in a different apartment, a different house, if only if. So it's always always if. It's always outside. So it's not always internal. This you control. This you don't control. The more you put in here, the more you're trying to say, I don't have control. The more you put in here, the more you're saying you have control. Do you see the difference? Inside job, you can do something about it. People who can do something about it are people like you and me, your friends. You can change your friends. Family, you can choose who you're hanging out with in your family. You can choose who you hang out with outside your family. Feeding your mind with positive people, you can choose the TV shows you're watching, the movies you're watching, the music you're listening to. So music, books, you listen. So the music and the books you listen to, right, the audio books, that is what we can do. What are you feeding your mind? This you choose to control, and it is an inside job. And I've learned people that generally change positively, there's two things that they all have in common. They are all willing to change, and they choose to change. If these two are not in place, a person is forced to change by one of these, not by this. So if it is intentionally you're willing and you're choosing to change, you can change your life into whatever, and I mean whatever you want to change your life into. You can't sit there and say, you know what, it's never going to happen to me, because that's certainly not positive. Then you're right. It's going to happen to me. You're also right. So if you want to change, you can definitely find ways to change yourself and your life, and the people that do. This is the process they go through to change themselves to be a better person. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. A simple smile to a total stranger will help that stranger's life forever. Remember, changes are possible, but you have to be willing to make the efforts to do it. Be that positive person that God created, that masterpiece that God created when He molded you. And may God bless you. Take good care. We'll talk to everybody real soon. Thank you for listening to the Take Your Life Back Today radio show.
Yeah, the show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take Back Your Life Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Yeah.
Changes start with you. You're the only person that can make those changes. Start today. Start now. Take good care.